Hi, good morning, friends. Welcome to Just Get Civil. Welcome to An Academy. Welcome to Just Get Civil. And we are here for Mission Gate 2021. First of all, wish you a very, very happy new year. आपको नया साल का बहुत हार्दिक शुभकामनाएं. We will, before going to the topics, before going to the subject, पिछले साल का पढ़ाई छोड़ के बाकी जो भी है उसको आप ओवरकम कीजिए. जो भी पैंडेमिक सिचुएशन में जितना भी खराबी किसी के साथ भी हुआ है, फॉरगेट दोस एंड टेक अ ओथ कि इस साल सही प्रिपरेशन के साथ आप लोग 2021 का गेट को क्रैक करेंगे. वी ऑल आर हियर टू हेल्प यू. लेट्स क्रैक इट. It's a new beginning, so don't waste your chance to get cracked or to get selected for gate 2021. Once again, wish you a very happy new year. Now, today, this is the 16th lecture of this series. Till yesterday, we have covered up to the sludge digestion process. Whereas we will cover today, or we will complete today, the wastewater segment. So, myself, Soumyajit Sen, once again, welcome. Welcome to this class of environmental engineering. Just a reminder that if you don't have, अगर आपके पास अभी तक Unacademy Learning app now, go to your Play Store, open Unacademy Learning app and install the Unacademy Learning app. Click for GATE and ESE and go for plus courses. Click for GATE and ESE and go for the plus courses. Subscribe it, and during taking the subscription, don't forget to apply the code SEN10. Don't forget to apply the code SEN10. If you apply the code today, you are going to get direct 10% of the discount. Don't forget to apply the code SEN10. ACN10. SEN10. They have already started. Unacademy has gifted to the civil engineering students New Year gift. Already started a batch on 28th December, 11:15 a.m. in both the language English and Hindi. That is Evolve for GATE 2022 for civil. Now apply the, while going for the class there also, if you are subscribing it, don't forget to apply the code SEN10 over there. Don't forget to apply the code SEN10. So we have completed certain discussion of wastewater engineering. We have seen, we have entered the wastewater treatment process. In the wastewater treatment, what we have observed is like the first we have observed the primary treatment, where preliminary treatment and the primary sedimentation tank is done. Then we have gone for the biological treatment process. In biological treatment process, we have done with the activated sludge process. Then we have seen the trickling filter. Then we have seen the oxidation pond, and also we have seen that how to deal with the sludges or settled solids coming from this biological treatment unit. When we are dealing with the sludges or settled solids coming from this biological treatment unit, that is called as sludge digestion process. Also, we have seen that sludge digestion process is essentially an aerobic process in nature. तो दोस्तों, अभी तक जो पढ़े हैं हम लोग, वो क्या कौन सा है? एक्टिवेटेड स्लज प्रोसेस, दैट वाज द एग्जांपल ऑफ व्हाट? एग्जांपल ऑफ aerobic suspended growth process. It's aerobic process. Trickling filter is the example of aerobic attached growth process. And your apart from that, this oxidation bond is an example of the facultative process. तो aerobic हम लोग देख चुके हैं दोनों टाइप का, facultative हम लोग देख चुके हैं, उसका sludge digestion भी देख चुके हैं. Now what we are going to deal with is septic tank. That is the, as per treatment unit, last segment of the treatment unit, and which is actually the example of anaerobic process. How it is anaerobic, we will discuss, and also we will discuss the process of dealing this matter, like how it is anaerobic, how it is, um, how to find out the design parameters of septic tank. So what is septic tank? Septic tank है क्या? Septic tank का नाम तो आप बहुत बार सुने होंगे. A septic tank is actually a process where the domestic wastewater, only the domestic wastewater is being cleaned. Septic tank where only the domestic wastewater will be cleaned. So we are dealing with the domestic wastewater only, here nothing, industrial wastewater or others are not going to deal with. सेप्टिक टैंक में हर घर पे आप सेप्टिक टैंक सुने होंगे, या तो एक, अगर आप फ्लैट में रह रहे हो तो एक सेप्टिक टैंक की जगह पे काफी सारे सेप्टिक टैंक हो सकते हैं कम्युनिटी में. सेप्टिक टैंक generally can serve, a single septic tank can serve up to 300 persons, and greater than 300% septic tank will not be able to serve. EMOP tanks can serve it, but nowadays the concept of EMOP tank is obsolete. Instead of putting one septic tank, more numbers of septic tanks are being kept. So first, this is the schematic of septic tank. Try to understand the septic tank process clearly from the schematic, then I will go for the description. देखिए, septic tank actually ये है आपका septic tank, and this is called as a soak pit. What is the job I'm telling you? It is actually a rectangular sedimentation tank. Rectangular sedimentation tank. Septic tank is actually a rectangular sedimentation tank. तो आप पूछ सकते हैं कि सर इतना दिन जो आप एनवायरनमेंट को डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, एनवायरमेंटल इंजीनियरिंग को डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, वहां पे कहीं पे भी नहीं बोले हैं कि सेडिमेंटेशन प्रोसेस विल बी एरोबिक और एनारोबिक. इट इज नॉट डिस्कस. सेडिमेंटेशन प्रोसेस का ऐसा कोई डिस्कशन था नहीं, क्योंकि ये एक्चुअली फिजिकल मेथड है जहां पे पार्टिकल्स आर गेटिंग सेटल डाउन बाय द फोर्स ऑफ ग्रेविटी इटसेल्फ. अचानक से क्या हुआ सेप्टिक टैंक में कि सेडिमेंटेशन टैंक को मैं बता रहा हूँ एनारोबिक प्रोसेस. मैं एनारोबिक प्रोसेस बता रहा हूँ, इसका वजह यह है कि सेप्टिक टैंक का कहानी कुछ अलग है. सेप्टिक टैंक इट्स एक्चुअली अ रेक्टेंगुलर सेडिमेंटेशन टैंक, दैट्स ट्रू, where high detention period is provided. Where high detention period is provided, इसका मतलब है the chances of getting settled down of the particles will be higher. बहुत लंबा डिटेंशन पीरियड देंगे तो पार्टिकल को बहुत लंबा टाइम मिलेगा to for getting settled down. Okay, but it is not the only job septic tank is doing. कि पानी डाला आपने और पार्टिकल्स जो प्रेजेंट है वो पार्टिकल्स सेटल डाउन कर गया. इट इज नॉट द ओनली जॉब द सेप्टिक टैंक इज डूइंग. Septic tank will do another job. what? Digestion of settled solid. So there will be actually two segments of septic tank, two zone. In a single tank will contain two zone. One is settling zone, another one is sludge zone. सेटलिंग जोन से पार्टिकल जो है वो सेटल करके स्लज जोन में आ जाएगा, और वही स्लज जोन में उस पार्टिकल का सेटल सॉलिड्स का डाइजेशन होगा, उसको खत्म किया जाएगा, और उसको एक्चुअली होगा कैसे? स्लज डाइजेशन, स्लज विल गेट डाइजेस्टेड। तो ये तो हमने कभी नहीं बोला था कि प्लेन सेडिमेंटेशन टैंक वो कुछ होता है, मतलब इट इज लाइक प्लेन सेडिमेंटेशन टैंक इज लाइक if it is aerobic or anaerobic। लेकिन ये तो मैंने आपको बोला था कि when you are going for any kind of solid digestion or sludge digestion process, it will be essentially anaerobic in nature, it is essentially anaerobic in nature। तो कुछ भी हो जाए आपका treatment unit, sludge will be digested by anaerobic process। So here in the settling zone, aerobicity or anaerobicity is not the mandatory part, but in the sludge zone, anaerobicity is the mandatory process, correct? So this is your inlet zone, water is getting settled down here, settling zone, this is called as sludge zone। Actually same chamber, a portion is kept for settlement and a portion is kept for the sludge. How much volume will be kept, we will discuss it later। From the outlet, the particle free water, the particle free water will go to through the outlet, and it will go to the nearby sandy soil called as soak pit। So soak pit is actually nearby soak pit, where particle free water will get discharged to the soak pit, which is nothing but the nearby sandy soil। Okay. So, and we know in the digestion of settled solids, that is as it is an anaerobic process, so there will be certain gases will get evolved. We have discussed yesterday in the class sludge digestion process, we have seen that certain we've seen that in the sludge digestion process, certain anaerobic gases like methane, methane, ammonia, H2S gases will get evolved. Also, carbon dioxide will get evolved. So, to release those gases, a gas releasing pipeline, which is called as vent shaft, is used. Okay. So, and there is a term written here, freeboard. You have seen this. There is a term written here called as freeboard. What is freeboard? The freeboard is actually the extra space provided while constructing the septic tank. The freeboard is actually the extra space provided while constructing the septic tank. Why to provide the extra space? To accommodate the accidental discharge or extra discharge। कभी कभार ऐसा होता है कि घर पे या कहीं पे मोहल्ले पे लोग ज्यादा आए हैं ड्यू टू सम फंक्शंस एंड ऑल, so eventually there will be higher amount of discharge than the usual thing। so ये freeboard जो है, ये freeboard is actually to keep that accidental discharge in the septic tank। ये जो freeboard का डेप्थ होता है, ये इसका कोई फिक्स्ड डेप्थ नहीं होता है, इट डिपेंड्स ऑन द पर्सन हु इज कंस्ट्रक्टिंग इट। अगर उसके पास जगह है, उसके पास पैसा है, तो वो ज्यादा स्पेस दे देगा। So this freeboard will not come in any kind of design consideration। So this H dash is actually the overall depth of the septic tank, whereas this overall depth is the summation of the settling zone depth, sludge zone depth, and freeboard. Settling zone depth, sludge zone depth, and freeboard. Okay. Settling zone depth, sludge zone depth, and freeboard. So this as a freeboard is not coming into any kind of design consideration. So design consideration will be taken on the basis of the summation of this H, capital H and small h, which is the settling zone depth and sludge zone depth. Okay. And the summation of the settling zone depth and sludge zone depth, capital H plus small h, is called as effective depth. It's called as effective depth. It's called as effective depth. Let's go to the discussion. In unsewered areas, septic tank is used to treat the domestic wastewater. The septic tank can serve up to 300 users. More than 300 users, EMOF tank will be used. Septic tank uh, can serve up to 300 users, and more than 300 users, EMOF tank will be used. And it is a rectangular sedimentation tank with high detention time, along with the provision for sludge digestion process. So what I have told you already, we have discussed. I've just written everything in these notes so that you don't have to go to any books or anything else. From these particular notes, you will get everything from these chapters. That is true for all chapters. For your process of examination, I'm not telling you that you will be expert in septic tank. It's not required because we have to play smartly. If you spend more time in septic tank, it is not that the smart move you are taking. So it is a rectangular sedimentation tank with high retention time along with the provision for fluctuation. In septic tank, two things will occur: settling of solids and digestion of solids. So settling of solids and digestion of solids, these two things are occurring in the septic tank. Whereas the settling of solid does not require any kind of microbial assistance, so doesn't matter whether it is aerobic or anaerobic or facultative. But the digestion of settled solids is always anaerobic in nature. Okay, that is the reason the overall system is an example of an aerobic treatment unit. That is the reason the overall system is an example of an aerobic treatment unit. समझ में आया कि नहीं? Clear? Now, what is the job of the soak pit? The particle free water will be thrown to nearby sandy soil called as soak pit for absorption. The particle free water will be thrown to a nearby sandy soil called as soak pit for absorption. Vent shaft. It is provided to release the gases produced due to anaerobic digestion of settled solids. It is provided to release the gases produced due to the anaerobic digestion of settled solids. Freeboard. It is provided to accommodate the accidental discharge. I have discussed everything. Freeboard is provided to accommodate the accidental discharge. It is completely a constructor parameter. What I have told earlier, that is written. Whatever I have told you is going to happen. Okay. Now the actual depth of septic tank I have already discussed. Our overall depth is H dash, which is equals to capital H plus small h, which is called as the effective depth plus freeboard. Okay. So here I should write down capital H is called as settling and sludge zone depth, small h. Okay. Now, design consideration. So total volume of septic tank, total volume of septic tank is actually the summation of volume of settling zone plus volume of sludge zone. So total volume of septic tank is actually the summation of volume of septic zone plus volume of sludge zone. And volume of settling zone is equals to U TWF into TT. Volume here nothing more wastewater volume is required. The volume of settling zone. So here QTWF, none of the others wastewater influent. Only the domestic DWF, it is dry weather flow, but here dry weather flow is the only the domestic wastewater only the domestic wastewater into DT. So Q into DT is the volume. We know this. So QDWF is what we have seen this formula: population into per capita water supply into factor. Actually, QDWF is the population into per capita sewage flow. But QDWF, so per capita sewage flow is what? It's per capita water supply into the factor. Per capita water supply into factor. And detention time will vary between 24 to 48 hours within 1 to 2 days. Detention time will vary in between 24 to 48 hours, 1 to 2 days. Have a look. Okay. Now we are going for the volume of sludge zone. Now try to understand the concept of volume of sludge zone very clearly. Try to understand the concept of volume of sludge zone very clearly. See, when you're talking about the volume of sludge zone, it's actually the sludge zone. What I have defined in the septic tank. This sludge zone, this sludge will be this sludge will be what this sludge zone will be cleaned once in 1 or 3 days. This sludge will be cleaned once in 1 or 3 years. Sorry, not days. Once in 1 or 3 years. So that particular cleaning process is called as desludging process. That particular cleaning process is called as desludging process. तो sludge zone का वॉल्यूम क्या है सोच लीजिए 1 जनवरी 2020 को स्लज जोन क्लीन हुआ है वो फिर से आज 1 जनवरी 2021 को क्लीन होने वाला है तो ये जो क्लीन होने वाला है तो ये स्लज जोन का वॉल्यूम को हम क्या बोल सकते हैं ऐसे बोल सकते हैं इट इज द वॉल्यूम टू accommodate the sludges between two desludging process. Try to understand. It is the volume to accommodate sludges between two desludging process. क्योंकि जो एक साल में जो गैप है उस गैप में जितना भी स्लज प्रोड्यूस होगा उस स्लज को पकड़ के रखना पड़ेगा इधर ही here we have to keep that sludge so it's actually the volume of sludges usually that is kept that will be accommodated within between two desludging process. Is that okay? So eventually the volume of sludge zone is defined as the sludge zone has to be cleaned in once in 1 to 3 years. Removal of sludge is called as desludging process. Removal of sludge is called as desludging process. And the volume of sludge zone is actually the volume required to accommodate sludges between two desludging process. Clear? It is actually the volume required to accommodate sludges between two desludging process. Where volume of sludge zone is equals to rate of sludge production in liter per capita year. Rate of sludge production in liter per capita year into number of user. So see, it's nothing but the game of unit conversion only. Rate of sludge production unit is what? Liter per capita year. Well, liter is the unit of volume. So you need to remember from here capita and year. So capita is removed by number of user and into desludging interval which will remove this year. Ideal value of rate of sludge production will be 30 to 40 liter per capita year. Okay. So the volume of sludge zone is equal to rate of sludge production into number of user into the desludging interval. Here. And surface area is defined as the volume of septic tank by the effective depth. As I have told you that the freeboard will not come into any kind of design consideration. The freeboard will not come into any kind of design consideration. That's why the effective depth will come into the design consideration. So volume by depth is surface area. So volume of septic tank by effective depth will be the surface area. Now, just to know about certain points of IMHOP tank. See, it is used when population is more than 300. It is used when the population is more than 300. Now, the working principle of IMHOP tank will be same as septic tank. The working principle of IMHOP tank is same as septic tank. That means settlement of solid and digestion of settled solids will happen. But the question is, when you're talking about the working principle of IMHOP tank, then the main thing is in septic tank it is done in a single same chamber. In septic tank it is done in a same chamber. But IMHOP tanks in IMHOP tank it will not be done in a same chamber. There will be two separate chambers will be there. But the concept is same. The upper chamber will there will be settlement of solid and the lower chamber there will be digestion of settled solids. And depth is generally higher than the septic tank. That is the thing. Generally it is obsolete nowadays. The only thing is instead of putting us in an IMHOP tank, n number of septic tanks is preferred. Just have a look. Now let's solve certain questions to understand that what is actually happened properly, to understand the thing. And again we will revisit the chapters by solving certain problems. But septic tank, their septic tank, disposal of sewage effluent, trickling filter, oxidation ponds, those chapters plus digestion, those chapters we have already solved the problem. We will not revisit that. So be careful about the problem. So if you are having any kind of doubt, you can put in the comment section. The two chamber tank in which the upper one is used for sedimentation and the lower one is digestion is of tank. The partial treatment and sedimentation unit suitable for isolated solid building is septic tank. The process of wastewater treatment in IMOP tank is classified as obviously anaerobic digestion. The average normal efficiency of BOD removal in the IMOP tank will be around 30%. Remember this. Okay. The detention period in a septic tank is in the order of generally ideally it is in between 24 to 48 hours. But actually as per the options most suitable is 12 to 36 hours. The BOD5 of the effluent of obtained from septic tank will be between 100 to 200 milligram per liter. That remember this. Well, the working conditions IMOP tank are IMOP tank. See, the upper compartment will go for the settlement of solid and the lower compartment will go for the digestion of settled solids in IMOP tank. So obviously in the IMOP tank the lower compartment will be always anaerobic in nature. Compartment doesn't matter whether it is aerobic or anaerobic. So option D will be the correct answer. The rate of sludge accumulation in a septic tank is generally in the order of 30 liter per person per year. We have discussed. The effluent of a septic tank is none of the options are correct. Anaerobic bacteria plays a main role in the septic tank as per the option. A septic tank is both a septic tank and a digestion tank. These are the theoretical questions what we can expect from this chapter. Then we are going for the mathematical expressions. What all are the ESE or GATE sometime questions. Whatever questions we have kept here. 5 questions all are Just have a look to this process. First question, find the size of septic tank required for 200 users with per capita DWF of 150 LPCD. If the detention period is 24 hours and liquid depth is 1.5 meters, then L is to B ratio will be kept as 2 is to 1. So please solve these questions. Okay, let's solve it. So population given as population given as 200, per capita DWF is 150 LPCD. Detention period is 24 hours. Liquid depth is 1.5 meter and L is to B ratio 2 is to 1. So first we are going for the QDWF. This population into per capita sewage flow. It's coming as what? Liter per day. That's equals to 30 meter cube per day. Okay. So first we can find out the volume. Volume of what? Settling zone here. We're talking about the settling zone only. we have 30 meter cube per day into the detention time 24 hours, it is 1 day. It's 30 meter cube. The surface area will be 30 by 1.5. That is the depth. Centimeter square. L is to be given as 2 is to 1. So 2 b square is equal to 20. From b square will be 10. From b will be under root 10. Is 3.16 meter. Length will be 6.32 meter. That is your final answer. 3.16 meter and length will be 6.32 meter. That's your final answer. Clear? Now, in the previous problem, if the rate of sludge production is 30 liter per person year and the cleaning period is 2 years, then find the depth of sludge zone. So, depth of sludge zone means small h they are asking. So, first we need to find out the volume of sludge zone. The volume of sludge zone will be rate of sludge production into number of users into E sludging interval. Rate of sludge production is 30 liter per person year. Number of users is 200. Interval is 2 years. Number of users is 200 from the previous problem itself because it's a continuation of the same problem. Atmosphere, that is equals to 12 meter cube. Now, as this is the part of the same tank, so surface area will be same. So surface area will be how much? Centimeter square. It is 20 meter square. So the small h depth of sludge will be 12 by 20. It's 0.6 meter. Clear? Now, next question. A septic tank of size 4 meter cross 2 meter is designed for 120 users with per capita sewage flow of 150 LPCD and the liquid depth is 1.5 meter. Find the following detention period. And first, another question given: volume of sludge produced between the cleaning if the rate of sludge production is 40 liter per person per year and the cleaning period is 2 years. And also they're asking that volume of soak pit if the percolation capacity is 1500 liter per meter cube per day. So there is a question. So we have not given you any formula for finding out the volume of soak pit, but here you need to find out the volume of soak pit. How? Just on the basis of common sense and unit conversion. Just have a look. Question number 14. Let's solve the question. So a tank of size 4 meter cross 2 meter is designed for 120 users. With the per capita sewage flow of 150 LPCD. And the liquid depth is 1.5 meter. So first is Q is how much? Population 120 LPCD into per capita sewage flow is 150 in liter per day. That is how much? Is 18,000 liter per day, or it's 18 meter cube per day. Now volume of settling zone is equal to L into B into H, because L, B and H are tank plus sedimentation tank. L, B and H are provided. So L is 4 meter into 2 meter into 1.5 meter. 4 into 2 to 1.5 meter cube. So detention period will be provided as volume by Q. So 4 into 2 into 1.5, 12 by 18. That is 12 by 18 into 24 hours. How much it is? It will be 16 hours. Okay. Now asking for volume of sludge production, volume of sludge zone. So volume of sludge zone will be rate of sludge production. How much is rate of sludge production? 40 liter per person per year. So rate of sludge production 40 liter per person per year into discharging interval of 120. So 120 is the user and discharging interval is 2 years, I guess. Yes, that much of liters. It's 9.6 meter cube. Now volume of soak pit. What is given? Percolation capacity of 15,000 liter per meter cube day. আমি ক্লাস নিচ্ছি হ্যাপি নিউ ইয়ার ক্লাস নিচ্ছি আমি লাইভ ক্লাসে আছি The volume of soap here percolation capacity is given as is 1500 liter per meter cube day. 1500 liter per meter cube day. So from here I have told you that you can solve with no formula is given, but you can solve it by checking out the unit and its common sense. If you divide something or having a unit of liter per day by this, you will get the volume of soap in meter cube, right? So what you will do, we'll go for the Q, that is having Q in liter per day, unit of liter per day by 1500 liter per meter cube day. What is Q in liter per day? It's 1800 liter per day. Welcome packet. Meter cube will be the answer. Okay. Now, hope you understand the process. Next question is, vent should be provided over both the septic tank and seepage pit. Assertion A is wrong. A is wrong. Only provided over the septic tank. So it's option D will be the correct answer. Option D will be the correct answer. Okay. Next question. A septic tank of 7 meter cube in volume serves for 5 people. The rate of accumulation of sludge is 70 liter per capita per year, and sludge is removed when it occupies 50% of its volume. Then, what will be the cleaning interval of septic tank? The septic tank of 7 meter cube in volume serves for 5 people. The rate of accumulation of sludge is 70 liter per capita per year. And sludge is removed when it occupies 50% of its volume, then what will be the cleaning interval of septic tank? The volume is of septic tank is 7 meter cube. Okay, serves for 5 people. So actually, volume of sludge which can be removed will be 7 meter cube, or 50% is occupied, that is 3.5 meter cube. The volume of sludge is equal to rate of sludge production into number of users into time interval, this sludge interval. It's 3.5 into 10 to the power 3 liter. Rate of accumulation is 70 liter per capita. Number of users is 5. That is x. X is equal to 3.5 into 10 to the power 3 by 350. It's 10 years will be your final answer. 10 years will be your final answer. Clear? That's the GATE 2018 recent year questions. So generally, students overlook these topics, but understanding this topic and producing the question are very easy from this topic. Sometimes question will come. Actually क्या है कि अभी के दिन में इस जगह से questions आने का chances बहुत ज़्यादा है. So don't skip any topic of this particular subject. Don't skip. Okay. Let's have an overview of what we have done. Septic tank schematic diagram. Descriptions begins. Volume of sludge zone. EMAP tank. Questions. Sorry, numericals. Now, after the septic tank, we are entering to the last chapter of the wastewater engineering. That is disposal of sewage effluent. है क्या इधर हो क्या रहा है? If you remember, I have told you that what is the uh, object of wastewater engineering. If you remember, the object of wastewater engineering is nothing but to collect and to convey the wastewater generated from a community, to collect and to convey the wastewater generated from a community for safe disposal. तो अल्टीमेट एम है आपको उस वेस्ट वाटर को ट्रीटमेंट के बाद obviously to collect and convey it for the wastewater generated for community for treatment for safe disposal. Treatment के बाद you have to dispose it of properly. You have to dispose it of properly. इस पर्टिकुलर चैप्टर में हम देखेंगे डिस्पोजल कौन से तरीके में होते हैं और डिस्पोजल के बाद एक्चुअली क्या होता है. Now, The disposal of sewage effluent will be done by two methods, two way. One is disposal to a natural water body, मतलब कोई natural water body कई river, it can be a lake, it can be a pond if it is a bigger in size or the wastewater quantity is less. Second is the disposal to a piece of land. It's called as land disposal, which is a least preferred option, but yes, we have to go for that also in certain cases. So majorly we are going for the disposal to a natural water body, which is called as disposal by dilution. Okay, so disposal to a natural water body in the disposal by dilution and disposal to a piece of land. And why? क्यों इस डिस्पोजल टू अ नेचुरल वाटर बॉडी को डिस्पोजल बाय डाइल्यूशन कहते हैं? क्योंकि जब भी आप वेस्ट वाटर को कहीं कोई रिवर पे थ्रो कर रहे हैं तो इवेंचुअली दैट वेस्ट वाटर में कुछ जो कोई पॉल्यूटेंट का जितना भी कंसंट्रेशन होगा, दैट कंसंट्रेशन विल गेट डाइल्यूटेड. That concentration will get diluted and it will be called as the disposal by dilution. That is why it is called as the disposal by dilution. Now, the disposal by dilution is satisfied when certain conditions will be there. There should be enough fresh water, there should be enough oxygen, sewage should be relatively fresh. Why enough fresh water is required? Otherwise, the natural water body quality will be destroyed. Should be enough oxygen so that that oxygen will uh, create the freshness to the freshwater or remain the freshness of the wastewater. Oh, sorry, the river water. Sewage should be relatively fresh, otherwise the nuisance potentiality of the stale sewage is higher. If the sewage is not fresh, then the nuisance potentiality will be higher. It will create more problem to the natural water body. And finally, very very important, that no community should draw the natural water as their no community should draw the natural water as their drinking water immediately after disposal. No community should draw the natural water as their drinking water immediately after disposal. That is called as disposal by dilution. Now, effluent disposal standard. Domestic wastewater, and here DWW means the domestic wastewater, and IWW means the industrial wastewater. Actually, DWW means the domestic wastewater, and IWW means the industrial wastewater. Regarding the disposal of wastewater, if you want to know more, you can go to a special class is there already recorded in the app. You can go for that and you will get more, you will get more beneficiary over there. So BOD less than 20 milligram per liter for domestic wastewater, for industrial wastewater less than 30 milligram per liter. For COD, both the cases is less than equals to 250 milligram per liter. Oil less than equals to 10 milligram per liter. Total solid less than equals to one. Total solids for domestic wastewater is 100 milligram per liter. For industrial wastewater it is 150 milligram per liter, and this is for the Indian standard. This is for the Indian standard. Okay. There is another recommendation provided by BRC, British Royal Commission. Another recommendation provided by BRC, British Royal Commission, that is applicable only for the domestic wastewater. Only for the domestic wastewater applicable, British Royal Commission. And their list is given as dilution factor. If it is greater than equals to 500, no treatment is required. If it is in between 300 to 500, primary treatment is required. If it is between 150 to 300, primary and secondary treatment is required. If it is less than equals to 150, thorough treatment is required. So greater than equals to 500, no treatment is required. 300 to 500, primary treatment is required. 150 to 300, primary and secondary treatment is required, and less than 150, thorough treatment is required. You remember that primary treatment is nothing but the preliminary treatment plus the primary sedimentation tank. Secondary treatment is nothing but the primary treatment plus secondary treatment is nothing but the what secondary treatment is the biological treatment units along with the secondary sedimentation tank, and thorough treatment is here along with the tertiary treatment also. And what is dilution factor 500 means? Just I am giving an example that 1 liter of wastewater, if it is discharged into 1 liter of wastewater, if it is discharged into 500 liter of fresh water, 1 liter of wastewater is discharged into 500 liter of fresh water, then it will be called as the dilution factor 500. So if 200 liter of wastewater is discharged into 500 liter of fresh water, it will be nothing but dilution factor will be 250. Clear? Now, one thing we need to discuss that when you are putting something, when we are putting some nuisance causing things like the wastewater in the natural water or natural river water, then क्या होगा उसमें? तो वो उस गंदगी को लेके चलने से पहले they will try to clean themselves. They will try to clean themselves. They're the natural water body. They will always try to clean themselves. And this cleaning process is called as self-purification process. This cleaning process is called as self-purification process. And there are certain methods of self-purification. There are certain methods of self-purification always exist. First of all is dilution process. The methods of self-purification will be first of all is dilution process. What is dilution process? Where when the when suppose wastewater flow rate of Q and the concentration of something is C, it is mixed with the river water flow rate along with the concentration R. So again we have gone through this. Again we are going for the mixing formula where C mix is equals to C mix is equals to QRCR plus QWCW by QR plus QW. We have seen in this thing in the chapter of quality of water, we have discussed that if it is mixing something, so C mix formula will be V1C1 plus V2C2 by V1 plus V2. Same thing is happening here. So first is dilution. The second is dispersion. What is dispersion? It is the horizontal transport of pollutant will occur by wind speed and direction. The horizontal transport of pollutant will occur by wind speed and direction. That is called as dispersion process. Horizontal transport of pollutant will occur by wind speed and direction, called as the dispersion process. Third one is sedimentation. Some higher specific gravity particle will get settled down in the bottom of natural water body. Some higher specific gravity particle will get settled down in the bottom of natural water body, which is called as the sedimentation process. Then sunlight. Continuously natural disinfection will occur as the water body is always exposed to sunlight. Continuously natural disinfection will occur as the water body is always exposed to sunlight. Then oxidation. Due to the presence of some microorganism, biodegradable organic matter will get decomposed. Due to the presence of some microorganism, biodegradable organic matter will get decomposed. Okay. Now, a very important portion we need to discuss. A very important portion we need to discuss. What's that? Let's try to understand. सोचिए आपके पास 1000 रुपया है. Just think that you are having 1000 rupees in your pocket. And क्या हुआ आपका कुछ मतलब प्लानिंग भी है कि उस 1000 रुपीज में कुछ कहीं पे कुछ खरीदना वरीदना है, कुछ भी है, प्लानिंग भी है. Then what you will do, suppose you are on the way and suddenly something came into your mind or some emergency came, you have to spend 600 rupees out of your calculation. अभी आपके फिर आपने क्या करेंगे जब आपका कैश जरूरत है. नॉर्मली अभी लोग क्या करते हैं, पहले जो भी हैं अभी लोग क्या करते हैं, दे विल गो टू बैंक, दे विल गो टू बैंक और एटीएम एंड विथड्रॉ मनी. आपने नियर अबाउट एक एटीएम में गए और 1000 रुपया उठा लिए. तो अभी आपके पास कितना पैसा है? 1400 रुपये. करेक्ट. इतना सोच के रखिए और फिर इधर आइए ग्राफ में एक प्रोसेस में. जब भी आप कोई वेस्ट वाटर को एक रिवर में फेंकते हो, व्हेन यू आर डिस्चार्जिंग सर्टेन वेस्ट वाटर इन द रिवर, व्हाट विल हैपन? When you are discharging certain wastewater in the river, what will happen? That suddenly, what to say? Suppose the river is having certain amount of DO and they are having a plan. जैसे आपके पास 1000 रुपया था और उसका एक प्लानिंग है, वैसे ही जैसे आप वेस्ट वाटर है एक सडन जो आपने मैंने आपको बोला कि एक कुछ याद आ गया या तो कुछ इमरजेंसी आ गया, तो वैसे वेस्ट वाटर आके गिरा. वेस्ट वाटर में है आपका बायोडिग्रेडेबल ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड्स और डिफरेंट कंपाउंड्स. दे विल स्टार्ट डिकम्पोजिंग. When they are getting started decomposing, they require oxygen. From where they will take the oxygen? From the DO level of water. तो वो जो 400-500 रुपया या 600 रुपया खर्चे के बाद बोला मैं इमरजेंसी में, वो है आपका ये वाला कहानी की सडनली आपका 600 मतलब ऑक्सीजन जो है वो खर्चा होने लगा है. एंड द process of removing of oxygen or process of consuming of oxygen due to the wastewater discharge is called as deoxygenation process. Is called as the deoxygenation process. is called as the deoxygenation process. It's called as a deoxygenation process. Here now, जैसे ही आपका डीऑक्सीजनेशन हुआ, जैसे ही आपका खर्चा हो गया, आप क्या किए, आप एटीएम पे गए और पैसा उठाए, और दोनों का जोड़ जाड़ के जो भी हुआ, दोनों का माइनस प्लस करके वही हुआ आपके पास एक्चुअल मनी लेफ्ट इन योर पॉकेट. On similar fashion, water will go to its ATM of oxygen, that is atmosphere, and from there it will absorb oxygen, which is called as reoxygenation. D matlab removal, re matlab once again. It's called as reoxygenation. And the actual oxygen concentration curve or oxygen sac curve, which is called as, is actually the point you are getting from this reoxygenation and deoxygenation. तो एक्ट क्या हो रहा है, तो एक सर्टेन, तो आपके पास पैसा जो बचा हुआ है, दैट इज व्हाट, डी, so deoxygenation of your money from the purse added with reoxygenation of the money of from the ATM, right? नाउ ये जो ब्लू लाइन है, ये आपका डीऑक्सीजनेशन को डिफाइन कर रहा है. तो क्यों ये डिक्रीज हो रहा है, क्योंकि जितना टाइम बढ़ेगा, ऑलरेडी बायोडिग्रेडेबल ऑर्गेनिक मैटर इज गेटिंग फिनिश्ड, तो ऑक्सीजन का कंजम्पशन भी घटेगा. Whereas जितना टाइम बढ़ेगा, ऑक्सीजन का रीऑक्सीजनेशन होना बढ़ेगा, क्योंकि what they will try to do, they will try to reach the maximum level, which is the DO saturation given in this purple dot. That is the maximum level always they will try to reach. Understood? So actually this actual oxygen concentration curve or is actually we are getting it from reoxygenation plus of minus deoxygenation process. Clear? Now if we draw the curve once again to explain it, try to understand this explanation of this point curve. So this is your saturation line, and from this is the oxygen sac curve, this is blue curve. So this is the in at time t equals to 0, uh, at the starting point when the water is getting discharged, that is called as DO initial. So at initial time only certain deficit in oxygen is there. Deficit means difference between what, oxygen level ka or saturation level ka. Initial DO is what? Initial DO is nothing but the DO mixture, which is equals to the mixture formula QWW and DWW plus QR DOR by QWW plus QR. Okay, mixing formula, that is the initial DO. And what is your D naught? D naught is nothing but the initial oxygen deficit. मतलब at time t equals to 0 में ही कुछ डेफिशिट था, उसको हम लोग डिफाइन किया है डी नॉट बोल के. ऐसा तो नहीं है कि हर रिवर, हर नदी, हर तालाब एकदम सैचुरेटेड ऑक्सीजन कंसंट्रेशन पे रहेगा. That is denoted by D naught. So D naught is actually initial oxygen deficit. Initial oxygen deficit, which is equals to DO sat minus DO suffix I. Clear? Now, coming to this curve, dt, dt is actually deficit value. So at any point t, at any time t, at any time t, this is your, this is your actually concentration. This is your concentration of oxygen at any time t. So this is actually your deficit. Deficit कितना बचा हुआ है, कितना बचा हुआ मतलब सॉरी कितना कम है. So this is the at time t, this is the concentration of oxygen. So dt is actually the deficit at time t. अब देखिए from the curve itself it is evident that at particular time the concentration of oxygen is minimum of others. At a particular time the concentration of oxygen is minimum of among others. जहां पे concentration of oxygen minimum होते हैं, वहां पे deficit of oxygen will be maximum. क्योंकि जहां पे कंसंट्रेशन जितना कम डेफिशिट उतना ज्यादा, तो जहां पे डेफिशिट सबसे कम सबसे ज्यादा कहाँ होगा, जहां पे कंसंट्रेशन सबसे कम होगा, करेक्ट। So dt is the deficit in oxygen concentration at time t, and dc is the maximum of all dt, and that is called as critical deficit. Dc is called as critical deficit, maximum of all deficit, and dc will occur at time tc, which is called as critical time. It's called as critical time. Is that clear? The dt, the oxygen deficit at time t is defined by K1 L naught by K2 minus K1, K1 L naught by K2 minus K1 into e to the power minus K1 T minus e to the power minus K2 T plus D naught e to the power minus K2 T. K1 L naught by K2 minus K1 into e to the power minus K1 T minus e to the power minus K2 T plus D naught e to the power minus K2 T, where K1 or KT is called as deoxygenation constant, where K1 or KD is called as deoxygenation constant, when K2 or Kr is called as reoxygenation rate constant. K1 or KD is called as deoxygenation rate constant, and K2 or Kr is called as reoxygenation rate constant. Both the unit will be in day inverse. Mind it, here no base 10 is concept is there. That means previously in the characteristics of wastewater, I have told you that deoxygenation rate constant means the base 10K. No, everything is base E. Everything here is base E. And L naught is the ultimate BOD of the mixture. L naught is the ultimate BOD of the mixture. But DC is equals to the critical oxygen deficit, DC is equals to K1 by K2 L naught e to the power minus K1 TC. আমি ছাড়ার আগে কাজে চলে না, where DC is equals to K1 by K2 L naught e to the power minus K1 TC, where TC is the critical time, that is equals to 1 by K2 minus K1 ln K2 by K1 into 1 minus D naught K2 by K1 by K1 L naught, and KD by KR, which is defined as self purification constant divided by F. KD by Kr, which is defined as the self-purification constant denoted by F. This whole set of equation along with the graph is called as Streeter-Phelps equation. The whole set of equation which is defining the process is called as Streeter-Phelps equation. Called as Streeter-Phelps equation. Have a look. Now, what we are going to do, we are segmenting the oxygen sac curve into 4 zones. Everything is same, just zone 1, zone 2, zone 3 and zone 4. Zone 1, it is called as the zone of degradation. It is called as the zone of degradation, where DO level decreases to 40% of its original value, and all aquatic organism will disappear except fishes. All aquatic organism will disappear except fishes. Zone 2, it is called as zone of active decomposition. It is called as zone of active decomposition. DO level reduces to its minimum value. All aquatic organism will, including fishes, will disappear. Sometimes bad smell may come from water itself. That is zone 2. Zone 3, it is called as the zone of recovery. DO level increases up to the 40% of its initial value, and the fishes will reappear in water. Here, you can understand this particular segment. This particular segment where deoxygenation rate will be higher than the deoxygenation rate. See. Zone 4, it is called as the clear water zone, where DO level increases to its initial value. DO level increases to its initial value. Recovery of river natural water body is said to be completed. Recovery of river or natural water body is said to be completed. Clear? Now, next we are going for the disposal to a land surface. Disposal to a land surface, and this method is the least preferred option. I've already told you it is adopted only when there is no natural water body available for disposal. This method is least preferred option. It is adopted only when there is no natural water body available for disposal. It is a disposal of water over a piece of land. It is a disposal of water over a piece of land. What is happening here? Only 10 to depth of water should not be more than 10 to 12 centimeter. Okay. कहाँ करते हैं ऐसे? जैसे सोचिए कि आप राजस्थान में जा रहे हो, राजस्थान का जैसलमेर का वेस्ट वाटर को डिस्पोज करेंगे, तो कैसे करेंगे? कहाँ है, कहाँ मिलेगा आपको सरफेस वाटर? For those places where the scarcity of river is there, for those natural river is there, perennial river is there we will go for the disposal to a land surface. Three things will occur when you are disposing it off to a land surface. Firstly, the percolation through the soil pores. Some water will get evaporated and then soil bacteria will decompose some pollutant. Some certain amount of percolation will be there, some water will get evaporated and soil bacteria will decompose some pollutant. Sandy soil is preferred due to its percolation ability. Sandy soil is preferred due to its percolation ability. Okay. Area of land required is defined by the equation Q divided by consuming capacity of soil in liter per day in hectare. Area of land required will be in hectare, which is defined by Q by consuming capacity of soil. And conditions should be there that the soil should be permeable, then only the process of percolation will occur, and groundwater table should be low. Otherwise, during the rainfall season, the rainwater will take the wastewater along with it and it will go to the groundwater table, which is considered as one of the most purest form of water available naturally. Okay. There's a thing called as sewage sickness. Sometimes bad smell will come from the soil when untreated sewage is getting continuously applied. Remedy: stop loading, change the soil. That is called as sewage sickness. Okay. Today we are not going to discuss about the problems. I will discuss this problem in the very first day when we recap the thing once again after completion of the topics. So the completed septic tank, only the problems of disposal of sewage effluent is left. Before concluding the thing, first of all, don't forget to install Unacademy Learning app. Install it right now. Go for Get an EAC live class course where we are going to get the personalized mentorship program. Subscribe over there, and while taking the subscription, don't forget to take the code SEN10 ACN10 SEN10. And just a reminder that 28th December we have already started a batch for Evolve for Gate 2022 in the both English and Hindi. And once again, wish you a very, very happy and prosperous new year ahead.